The bathroom tile was cold, the blood was warm, and Claire Mitchell had a choice to make. Stay in her $15 million mansion and die, or crawl 3 miles in the dark and maybe live. Her phone was dead, her car keys were gone, her purse had vanished, and her millionaire husband? Nowhere to be found. At 2 in the morning, 7 months pregnant and hemorrhaging, Claire realized something horrifying. This wasn't an accident. This was a plan. What she didn't know yet was that she wasn't the first, that the woman before her had died in a suspicious car crash, that her own insurance had been canceled 1 week earlier, that everything she thought was safety was actually a trap, and that 11 months from now, if everything went according to plan, she'd be dead and he'd be $20 million richer. But Claire Mitchell didn't die that night. She crawled. She survived. And what she discovered next would expose a predator who'd spent years perfecting his system. This is the true story of a woman who lost everything and gained the one thing that mattered most: her life. The bathroom tile was cold, the blood was warm. Claire Mitchell woke to stabbing pain at 2 in the morning. She reached down, her hands came back red. The bedroom was dark except for the sliver of moonlight through the curtains. She tried to sit up. The pain doubled her over. "Grant," her voice came out weak. "Grant, something's wrong." She reached across the king-size bed. Empty. Cold sheets. He wasn't there. Claire fumbled for her phone on the nightstand. The screen stayed black. Dead. She'd asked him to charge it before bed. He'd said he would. She always asked. He always said yes. The phone was always dead. The pain came again. Sharper this time. She pressed her hand to her swollen belly. 7 months pregnant. The baby kicked weakly. Or maybe that was her imagination. Maybe that was hope. She needed to get up, needed to get help. Claire swung her legs over the side of the bed, stood, her knees buckled. She grabbed the nightstand, knocked over the lamp. It crashed to the floor. The sound echoed through the 20,000 square foot house. "Grant!" Louder this time. "I need help!" Nothing. The house stayed silent. Expensive silence. The kind that comes with marble floors and vaulted ceilings and too much empty space. Claire looked down. Blood was pooling on the hardwood. She had to move, had to get to the hospital. The baby. God, the baby needed her to move. She dropped to her hands and knees. The floor was cold against her palms. She started crawling toward the bedroom door. Each movement sent pain through her abdomen. Each movement left a trail of blood behind her. The hallway stretched ahead, 40 feet to the stairs. She called Grant's name again. The house swallowed her voice. Where was he? It was 2 in the morning. Where could he be? She reached the top of the stairs, 17 steps down. She'd counted them 1,000 times. 17 steps of imported Italian marble. Grant was proud of those stairs. Cost more than most people's cars, he'd said. Claire sat on the top step, turned around, started going down backwards. Bump! Her body hit the second step. Bump! The third. Pain seared through her. Bump! 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 She bit at her lip to keep from screaming. Didn't want to wake the neighbors. Then she remembered. No neighbors. The property was 3 acres. Nobody would hear her scream. 14, 15, 16, 17. The foyer floor was even colder. The blood looked black against the white marble. Claire rested for a moment, caught her breath. The baby kicked again, stronger this time. Fighting. This baby was fighting to live. She needed her phone, needed her car keys, needed her purse. Everything was in the kitchen, always in the kitchen. Grant insisted on organization. Everything in its place. Claire crawled across the foyer, through the living room. Past the furniture that cost more than her parents' house. Past the artwork Grant bought because his decorator said it had value. Past the life she'd built that suddenly felt like a prison. The kitchen was dark. She reached up, flipped the light switch. Fluorescent brightness flooded the space. She blinked against it. The counter where she always left her keys was empty. Her purse. It was always out on the breakfast bar. Gone. The hospital bag she'd packed 3 weeks ago. The one she'd left by the garage door. Not there. Claire's hands started shaking. This wasn't an accident. This was deliberate. She crawled to the garage door, pushed it open. 3 cars sat in the darkness. Grant's Mercedes, His Porsche, her Range Rover, all locked. She could see it from here. The little red lights on the door locks, blinking, mocking her. The keys were nowhere. She looked up at the garage door opener on the wall. Too high. She couldn't reach it standing. Couldn't reach it at all right now. But there was a mop leaning against the wall. She grabbed it, used the handle to knock the opener down. It clattered to the concrete floor. Claire pressed the button. The garage door groaned, started lifting. Cold November air rushed in. She was wearing a nightgown, nothing else. But she didn't have time to go back for clothes. Didn't have time for anything except getting help. The driveway was a quarter-mile long. Smooth asphalt. Grant had it repaved last year. Cost $40,000. He'd told her that, reminded her how lucky she was. Living in luxury, never wanting for anything. She wanted to live. She wanted her baby to live. Everything else was noise. Claire started crawling down the driveway. The asphalt was rough against her knees and palms. The nightgown soaked through with blood. The cold bit into her skin. But she kept moving. One hand, one knee. Other hand, other knee. Again, again, again. A car's headlights swept over her. She waved, tried to shout. Her voice came out as a croak. The car slowed. She could see the driver's face. A woman, middle-aged, eyes going wide. The car sped up, drove away, gone. Claire's arms were shaking. She'd made it maybe 200 feet. The hospital was 3 miles away. She'd never make it. She was going to die here, on her millionaire husband's perfect driveway. And he was nowhere. He'd made sure of that. She kept crawling. Because stopping meant giving up. And she'd given up too much already. 4 years of giving up. 4 years of making herself smaller. 4 years of believing this was love. Another set of lights. A woman walking a dog. The dog started barking, pulling at the leash. The woman ran toward her. Oh my God, oh my God. The woman pulled out her phone. 911, I need an ambulance. There's a pregnant woman. She's bleeding. She's on Riverside Drive, the Mitchell estate. Please hurry. The woman took off her jacket, wrapped it around Claire's shoulders, knelt beside her on the driveway. What happened? Where's your husband? Claire's voice came out as a whisper. He knew. He had to know. Sirens wailed in the distance, getting closer. The sound cut through the cold night air. The woman held Claire's hand, a stranger's kindness. The first kindness Claire had felt in longer than she could remember. The ambulance arrived. Paramedics swarmed around her, lifting her onto a gurney, starting an IV, checking vitals, asking questions. So many questions. How far along are you? 7 months. When did the bleeding start? Maybe 20 minutes ago. Any pain? Yes, everywhere. Where's your husband? I don't know. The ambulance doors closed. The sirens started again. Claire stared at her hands, blood on her palms, mixed with dirt and asphalt. This was her life now. Blood and dirt, and the slow realization that the man she married wanted her dead. The emergency room was too bright, too loud, too full of people who wanted to save her when she'd spent 4 years dying slowly. Claire lay on a gurney. Fluorescent lights hummed overhead. Monitors beeped steadily. Medical staff moved around her with practiced efficiency. An IV dripped clear fluid into her arm. Someone had cleaned the blood off her hands. She wished they hadn't. The blood felt like evidence, proof that this was real. A nurse appeared beside her, young, kind eyes. Name tag said Jamie. Mrs. Mitchell, I'm going to prep you for an ultrasound. The doctor wants to check on the baby. Is my baby okay? Claire's voice cracked. The doctor will let you know, but we're doing everything we can. Jamie squeezed her hand. Small gesture, enormous comfort. Another nurse came in with a clipboard, started asking questions. Name, date of birth, address, medical history. The questions felt normal, routine, like this was just another emergency room visit, not the night everything changed. Any allergies to medications? No, boy. Any previous pregnancies? No, this is my first. Any complications so far? No, everything's been normal. Are you on any medications? Prenatal vitamins, that's all. The nurse made notes. Efficient, professional. We'll need your insurance information. Claire's stomach dropped. My husband has the cards. Grant Mitchell. Can you call him? We tried the number you gave us. No answer. Of course not. No answer. Never any answer when she actually needed him. Let me try to reach him again, the nurse said. She left. Came back 5 minutes later. Different expression now, careful, guarded. Mrs. Mitchell, I spoke with our billing department. Your insurance is showing as inactive. Canceled as of last week. The room tilted. That's impossible. I'm looking at the system right now. Coverage terminated November 10th. That was Tuesday. We have excellent insurance through his company, Mitchell Development. There must be a mistake. Jamie touched her arm, gentle, sympathetic. I'll let you talk to the billing coordinator, but right now let's focus on you and the baby. The doctor's coming. A woman in scrubs entered, older, confident. Name tag said Dr. Ellen Hartwell, attending physician. She had the look of someone who'd seen everything and stopped being surprised years ago. Mrs. Mitchell, I'm Dr. Hartwell. I'm going to examine you and do an ultrasound. Can you tell me what happened tonight? Claire told her, waking up bleeding, crawling through the house, down the driveway. The words sounded insane, like a story that happened to someone else. But her knees were still scraped, her palms still raw. This was real. Dr. Hartwell's face stayed neutral, professional, but something flickered in her eyes. Recognition maybe, or concern. Let's see how your baby is doing. The ultrasound tech wheeled in the machine. Cold gel on Claire's swollen belly, the wand pressing, searching. The room went silent except for the swish, swish, swish of the baby's heartbeat. Fast, strong, steady. Claire started crying, relief flooding through pain. The baby was alive, fighting, surviving. Your baby's heart rate is elevated but strong, Dr. Hartwell said, but you have a partial placental abruption. That's causing the bleeding. It's serious but manageable. You're going to be admitted, probably for several days. We need to monitor you both closely. What does that mean for the baby? Right now, your baby is okay, but this could progress. We need to watch for signs of distress. If it gets worse, we may need to deliver early. You're at 30 weeks. That's premature, but babies born at 30 weeks do well with proper care. Claire nodded, tried to process the information. Partial placental abruption. Serious, manageable. Watch closely, deliver early. The words felt clinical, detached, like they were talking about someone else's pregnancy. Is there anything I should have done differently? The question came out small, ashamed. Dr. Hartwell's expression softened. This isn't your fault. Sometimes these things just happen. Stress can be a factor, trauma, but you didn't cause this. A billing coordinator appeared, middle-aged woman with tired eyes and a sympathetic smile. Mrs. Mitchell, I'm sorry to bring this up right now, but we need to discuss payment arrangements, since your insurance is inactive. Claire found herself apologizing for bleeding, for not having her wallet, for being a burden. I'm so sorry. I don't know what happened to the insurance. My husband handles all that. If you can just reach him. We've been trying. No answer. The automatic sorry, sorry, sorry. She'd been doing it for years, making herself smaller, taking up less space, being less trouble. She stopped mid-sentence, heard herself. The trained response, the conditioned reflex. Dr. Hartwell interrupted. We treat first. Sort out billing later. That's how medicine works. The billing coordinator nodded, left. But Claire saw the look, the concerned look. The look that said this woman had seen this before. Pregnant women alone in the ER. Husbands who couldn't be reached. Insurance that mysteriously disappeared. Mrs. Mitchell, Dr. Hartwell said, I need to ask you something, and I need you to answer honestly. Do you feel safe at home? Before Claire could answer, the curtain pulled back. Grant walked in. Designer suit, not a wrinkle, hair perfect, concerned expression. He crossed to the bed in 3 long strides, took her hand, kissed her forehead. Claire to me, oh my God, baby, I just heard. I was at the office. Emergency meeting with investors. My phone was on silent when I saw the hospital called. His voice caught, perfect amount of emotion. I got here as fast as I could. Everyone in the room relaxed. The husband was here, taking charge. Everything would be fine now, Darrell. Hartwell explained the situation. Grant listened, asked intelligent questions, nodded gravely, squeezed Claire's hand. His grip was tight, too tight, but nobody else noticed. They only saw the concerned husband, the man who loved his wife. Whatever she needs, Grant said. Money is no object. The best care possible. Transfer her to a private room. Get specialists. I don't care what it costs. We'll take excellent care of her, Dr. Hartwell said. But she was still watching Claire, still waiting for an answer to her question. Do you feel safe at home? Grant's hand on her shoulder, his presence filling the small space. His cologne, expensive, suffocating. I'm fine, Claire whispered. Just an accident. Dr. Hartwell's eyes said she didn't believe it, but she couldn't force help on someone who wouldn't take it. She left, took the social worker with her, took the questions with her. Grant stayed for exactly 12 minutes. Claire could see him checking his Rolex, timing it, long enough to look concerned. Not so long that it interfered with his schedule. I have to get back, he said, kissed her forehead again. The investors are waiting, but I'll handle everything, the insurance, the bills, all of it. You just rest. He walked out. The room felt bigger without him, safer. Claire could breathe again. Jamie came back, started adjusting the monitors. Do you need anything? Water? Extra blanket? My phone, I need my phone. Your husband didn't bring it? No. Jamie found the hospital phone, rolled it over on a cart. You can use this. Call whoever you need. Claire picked up the receiver, started to dial, then stopped. Realized. She didn't know Grant's number. It was just programmed in her phone. She'd never actually dialed it. Didn't know his assistant's number either. Didn't know anyone's number except one. Brooke Sullivan, best friend since college. The number hadn't changed in 15 years. Claire dialed. It rang 4 times. Hello? Brooke's voice, thick with sleep. Brooke, it's me. I'm in the hospital. What? Claire, are you okay? Is the baby okay? I need you to come. I can't explain on the phone. Just please, come. Which hospital? Riverside General. Emergency room. I'm leaving right now, 20 minutes. The line went dead. Claire set down the phone, lay back against the pillows. Monitors beeped. Nurses moved in the hallway. The baby kicked. Still fighting. And somewhere deep inside, Claire felt something shift. Something small but solid. A thought. Clear and certain. I'm not imagining this. Something is very, very wrong. Grant returned at 7 in the morning. Fresh suit, different tie, hair still perfect. He carried coffee from the expensive place downtown, the one with the $15 lattes. None for Claire. She wasn't supposed to have caffeine. He settled into the chair beside her bed, crossed his legs, sipped his coffee, checked his phone, looked up with a smile. How are you feeling, baby? Scared. The doctor said everything's fine, the baby's fine, you're going to be fine. He reached over, patted her hand, like she was a child who needed reassurance. Grant, the insurance. What happened to our insurance? His face stayed smooth, practiced. There was a transition between carriers. Coverage lapsed temporarily. I'm handling it. When were you going to tell me? I didn't want to worry you. You know how you get. So anxious about money, even though you have nothing to worry about. His voice was gentle, condescending. I take care of everything. That's what husbands do. Jabaush Hartwell came in with the social worker. A man this time, older. Kind face, name tag said Robert Chen. Wait, no, Robert Webb. Claire's tired brain struggled to focus. Mr. and Mrs. Mitchell, I wanted to check in. Make sure you have everything you need. Grant stood, shook the social worker's hand. Firm grip, eye contact, alpha male posturing. We appreciate the care. Claire's in good hands. Hospital policy requires we document certain situations. Mrs. Mitchell arrived by ambulance. At 2 in the morning. She'd been crawling for help. That raised some concerns. Concerns? Grant's voice stayed level, but his hand tightened on the bed rail. Standard procedure. We ask all patients about their home situation. My wife lives in a $15 million estate, tennis court, pool, guest house. She has everything a woman could want. Grant pulled out his phone, showed them photos, the mansion, the grounds, the luxury. Does this look like an unsafe environment? The social worker studied the photos. It's not about the house, Mr. Mitchell. Then what is it about? Dr. Hartwell spoke up. Her voice was calm, even, professional. It's about making sure Mrs. Mitchell feels supported, that she has resources, that she knows her options. Her option is to rest and get better. That's what I'm paying you for. Grant's smile didn't reach his eyes. Actually, Dr. Hartwell said, you're not paying us yet. The insurance situation is still unresolved. I already told you. I'll handle it. Of course, but hospital policy requires cash payment or approved insurance before we can move Mrs. Mitchell to a private room. Grant pulled out his wallet, placed a credit card on the table. Platinum, American Express, no limit. Will this handle it? Dr. Hartwell picked up the card, handed it to the social worker. Mr. Webb can help you with billing. She turned back to Claire, held her gaze. Mrs. Mitchell, my earlier question. Do you feel safe? Claire opened her mouth. Grant's hand was on her shoulder again. That weight, that warning. Everyone was watching, waiting. The social worker, Dr. Hartwell, Grant, all looking at her like she was a problem that needed solving. What could she say? That she crawled 3 miles bleeding because her car keys disappeared? That her husband was at the office at 2 in the morning? That her phone was always dead when she needed it? That 4 years had passed and she'd slowly lost every piece of herself? They'd think she was crazy, paranoid, hormonal. Grant would explain, so patient, so understanding. His wife was emotional. The pregnancy, the stress. She imagined things. She'd heard him say it before. To his mother, to his business partners, to their couple's therapist. Claire gets anxious, makes up scenarios in her head. I love her, but she's difficult sometimes. And she'd believed him, started doubting her own reality. Maybe she was overreacting. Maybe this was normal. Maybe all marriages felt like slow suffocation. I'm fine, Claire said. The words tasted like surrender. Just an accident. I should have called for help sooner. I panicked. Grant squeezed her shoulder. Approval. Good girl. Say the right things. Dr. Hartwell didn't look satisfied, but she nodded, couldn't do anything else. Claire was an adult, making her own choices, even if those choices were killing her. They left. Grant checked his watch. I have a meeting at 9, conference call at 10, site inspection at 11, but I'll check in this afternoon. He kissed her forehead. Rest. I'm taking care of everything. He walked out. His footsteps echoed down the hallway, getting fainter, disappearing. Claire lay in the hospital bed, monitors beeping, baby kicking, and she started remembering. Not the big things were too obvious, too easy to explain away. She remembered the little things, the 1,000 tiny cuts that add up to this moment. Year 1 after all, meeting Grant at a charity gala. His attention felt like sunlight. He'd crossed the room, introduced himself, made her laugh. By the end of the night, she felt seen, chosen, special. Flowers arrived at her office the next day. Every day for a week. Then a surprise trip to Paris. First class, 5-star hotels. You deserve this, he'd said. You deserve everything. 3 months later, you're too good for that marketing job. All those hours for mediocre pay. Let me take care of you. She'd hesitated. Her career mattered. But he was so certain, so confident, and being taken care of sounded nice after years of struggle. She quit, felt cherished. Now she saw it differently. The first cut, financial dependence. Year 2, her credit cards declined at lunch with Brooke. Humiliating. Grant explained later. He'd consolidated everything under his accounts, more efficient for taxes. His accountant insisted. You don't need to worry about money anymore. That's my job. She'd believed him, let him handle everything, signed the papers he put in front of her, trusted him. The second cut, financial isolation. Year 3. Brooke stopped calling as much. Claire thought they'd grown apart. Different lives now. Brooke was still working, still single, still struggling. Claire was married to a millionaire, living in luxury. What do they have in common anymore? But now she remembered. Brooke had called, had suggested dinner, girls' night, coffee dates, and Grant always had plans. It's just us tonight, baby. I want you all to myself. She'd felt chosen, wanted. Now she saw it. The third cut, social isolation, her mother, living 3 hours away. You should visit more, her mom said. But Grant needed her here. For his events, his dinners, his image. Marriage is about partnership, about being present. Your mother understands that. Her sister Natalie, the lawyer, always asking questions. Are you happy? Do you need anything? Is everything okay? Claire had gotten defensive. Of course she was happy. Why wouldn't she be? She had everything. Natalie stopped asking. The fourth cut, family isolation, year 4, pregnant, joyful. They'd been trying for 6 months. When the test came back positive, Grant had cried. Real tears. A family. We're going to be a family. Then came the prenup. Just a formality, protecting family assets, standard procedure. She didn't remember signing a prenup before the wedding. Grant explained. This was different. An amendment. For the baby's benefit. Estate planning. Tax purposes. His lawyers insisted. Her lawyer had questions. Grant fired the lawyer. You need my attorney to explain it properly. This is complex estate law. Your bargain attorney doesn't understand high net worth situations. She'd signed, 8 months pregnant, exhausted, trusting. The fifth cut, legal helplessness. Claire lay in the hospital bed, seeing it all clearly for the first time. Each decision made sense at the time. Each cut felt like love, protection, care. But cutting repeated becomes carving, and carving repeated becomes erasing. She'd been erased. Slowly, methodically, completely. The baby kicked. Strong, insistent. This baby was real, solid. The only thing that couldn't be erased. A knock at the door. Not a nurse. A woman. Late 20s, professional clothes. Nervous expression. Mrs. Mitchell, I'm Jennifer Price. I work for your husband. Can I come in? Jennifer Price sat in the hospital chair, wringing her hands, not making eye contact. I shouldn't be here. I could lose my job, but I couldn't stay silent anymore. Claire pushed herself up in the bed. Pain shot through her abdomen. She ignored it. What are you talking about? I'm Grant's executive assistant. I handle his calendar, his emails, his accounts, everything. Jennifer took a breath, held it, released it. I canceled your insurance last Tuesday because he told me to. The room seemed to shrink. What? He said it was a paperwork to transition, temporary, new carrier coming online. I didn't question it. I just processed the cancellation like he asked. Jennifer's voice shook. But then yesterday, Marcus Webb, the business partner, he asked me if I'd processed the new insurance documents. There were no new documents, just a cancellation. Claire's hands gripped the sheets. Why would he do that? Jennifer pulled out her phone, glanced at the door, looked back at Claire. This came through 2 months ago. It syncs to the shared calendar sometimes. I'm not supposed to see his personal emails. But I saw this one. She turned the screen toward Claire. An email from Morrison and Pierce, a law firm. Subject line read, prenuptial agreement analysis-termination clauses. Claire read, the legal language was dense, but clear, painfully clear. The prenup had specific terms. If they divorced before the 5-year anniversary, Claire got $50,000. That was it. No alimony, no property division. $50,000 for 4 years of marriage. But there was another clause. If Claire died before the 5th anniversary, Grant kept everything. All property, all assets, all accounts, plus the life insurance policy. $2 million, tax-free. Their 5th anniversary was 11 months away. I didn't understand at first, Jennifer said. Why cancel insurance for a pregnant woman? It seemed cruel, but maybe just careless. Rich men can be careless. Then I remembered the prenup analysis, and I remembered other things. What things? Comments he made about you, about the pregnancy, about timing. Jennifer's hands were shaking. Last month, he said something to Marcus. They were drinking scotch after a deal closed. Grant said, "The timing is wrong. This baby wasn't supposed to happen yet. Another year would have been better." Better for what? I didn't know then. Now I do, another year. That's after the 5th anniversary, after the prenup terms change. If you died after the 5th anniversary, there would be investigations, questions. But before, when you're still technically a newlywed? Tragic accident, young widow, sympathetic. Claire felt cold. The hospital room was warm, but she was freezing from the inside out. He planned this. He actually planned to kill me. I think so. I'm so sorry. I didn't see it until yesterday. I've been awake all night, thinking, remembering, putting pieces together. Jennifer stood, paced. There's more. The night you came to the hospital, Grant was at the office. I know because I was there, working late, finishing a presentation. He was in his office on the phone, laughing, at 2 in the morning. Laughing about what? I don't know. I couldn't hear the conversation. Just the tone. He sounded happy, excited. I left before him, but I checked the security log this morning. He didn't leave the office until 2:45. That's 45 minutes after your ambulance was called. The pieces clicked together. Grant at the office, her car keys gone, her phone dead, her purse missing. The security system armed, every exit blocked except the front door. 3 miles to the hospital, bleeding, pregnant, in the cold. Placental abruption could be fatal. If the bleeding was severe enough, if help didn't arrive in time, natural causes, tragic accident, pregnant wife dies during medical emergency, husband devastated, sympathetic, rich, free. Why are you telling me this? Claire's voice came out hoarse. Jennifer's eyes filled with tears. Because I have a 3-year-old daughter, and if someone saw my husband planning something like this, I'd want to know. I'd want someone to warn me. She pulled a flash drive from her purse, set it on the bedside table. I backed up everything, emails, calendar entries, the insurance cancellation, security logs, everything, if you need it for whatever you need it for. He'll know you were here, probably, but I can't sleep knowing I was part of this, even accidentally. Jennifer wrote down a phone number on a napkin. This is my personal cell, not the work number. If you need anything, if you need help, call me. She left, moving quickly, scared but certain. Claire sat alone in the hospital bed, holding the flash drive, the evidence, the proof. She should feel terrified. She should be falling apart. Instead, she felt something she hadn't felt in years, clarity. The fog was lifting. She could see the pattern, see the plan, see the trap. And she knew, with absolute certainty, he would try again. This failed. She survived. But 11 months was a long time. He'd find another way, another accident, another tragedy. He'd keep trying until she was dead, unless she got out first. But getting out meant more than leaving. It meant fighting. It meant resources. It meant evidence. It meant help. Her phone, she needed her actual phone with her contacts, her photos, her messages. Everything was on that phone, and it was at home. The home she couldn't go back to. The home with his cameras, his security system, his control. But there was one person who had a key. Someone Grant hadn't completely driven away. Someone who'd been asking uncomfortable questions for 3 years. Her sister, Natalie. Claire picked up the hospital phone, dialed the number she'd memorized in childhood. It rang twice. Hello? Natalie, I need help. Don't say my name. Don't mention this call to anyone. Can you come to Riverside General? A pause. Then Natalie's lawyer brain clicked into gear. Emergency or tactical? Both. I'm on the next flight, 4 hours. The line went dead. Claire set down the phone, looked at the flash drive, at the hospital room, at the monitors tracking her baby's heartbeat. She wasn't the first. She'd figured that out through her foggy, medicated thinking. Men don't wake up one day with elaborate insurance murder plots. They practice. There had to be a woman before her, someone who didn't survive, someone who trusted him and died for it. Claire pulled up the hospital's patient entertainment system. Clunky computer attached to the TV, Slow internet browser, but functional. She typed into the search bar, Grant Mitchell previous marriage. Nothing public. She tried different terms. Grant Mitchell girlfriend. Grant Mitchell engagement. Found a small mention in a society column from 7 years ago. Real estate developer Grant Mitchell's seen with interior designer Rebecca Shaw at the Arts Gala. The couple looked cozy on the terrace. Rebecca Shaw, Claire went through pages, found more mentions. They dated for 2 years. Pictures at charity events, galas, gallery openings. Rebecca always smiling. Grant always touching her. Possessive, proud, then nothing. The mentions stopped. Claire searched Rebecca Shaw separately, found an obituary, 6 years old. Rebecca Ann Shaw, age 29, died tragically in a single vehicle accident. Car left the road on Highway 7, fell 200 feet down a mountain embankment, survived by her parents Thomas and Linda Shaw of Riverside. Memorial donations can be made to the Arts Council. Single vehicle accident, mountain road, fell 200 feet. Tragic. Claire's blood ran cold. She kept searching, found a brief news article. Accident on Highway 7 claims life. Rebecca Shaw, 29, died when her vehicle left the roadway Sunday evening. Police report no suspicious circumstances. Excessive speed may have been a factor. No suspicious circumstances. Just like Claire's medical emergency would have been no suspicious circumstances. Just another tragic accident. Just another woman who trusted the wrong man. Claire printed the article. The hospital printer Word spat out the single page. Evidence, pattern, proof that she wasn't paranoid, wasn't imagining things, wasn't overreacting. Grant Mitchell killed his girlfriend, and now he was trying to kill his wife. The validation hit like a freight train. She wasn't crazy. She wasn't difficult. She wasn't imagining things. She was being systematically destroyed by a man who had done it before. The baby kicked, hard, a tiny foot or fist against her ribs. Fighting. This baby was fighting to live. And Claire realized she'd been dying slowly for 4 years. Dying the way a frog boils when water heats gradually. So slow you don't notice until you are cooked. But this baby wouldn't have that option. This baby would either be born into captivity or not be born at all. Claire closed her eyes. For the first time since the ambulance, she let herself cry. Deep sobs that hurt her damaged uterus and bruised ribs. She cried for the woman she was before Grant. For Rebecca Shaw, who never got a chance to escape. For this baby who deserved better than a father who killed mothers. A night nurse came in, older woman, silver hair, kind eyes. Name tag said Dorothy. She didn't say anything, just sat down, took Claire's hand, held it, sat in the silence. Witnessed the pain. Let it be real. Sometimes that's all anyone can do. See someone, acknowledge their suffering, refuse to look away. Thank you, Claire whispered. Dorothy squeezed her hand. You're stronger than you know. Don't forget that. She left. The room settled into quiet again. Monitors beeping, baby's heartbeat steady, and somewhere in the darkness outside, the sun was starting to rise. Claire wasn't alone anymore. Jennifer had come forward. Natalie was on her way. Evidence existed. The truth was coming out. All she had to do was survive long enough to tell it. Natalie arrived at 8:15 in the morning. Black suit, rolling suitcase, hair pulled back, all's business. She closed the hospital room door, locked it, pulled the privacy curtain around the bed even though Claire was already in a private room. Talk, Natalie said. No preamble, no small talk. That was Natalie. Efficient, direct, exactly what Claire needed right now. Claire told her everything. The crawling, the insurance, Jennifer's visit, the flash drive, Rebecca Shaw, all of it. Natalie's face stayed professional, but her hands clenched. White knuckles, controlled fury. That son of a bitch! She pulled a legal pad from her briefcase, started making notes, fast, precise. Okay, here's what we're doing. First, I'm moving you to a different room, different floor, private security outside the door. He'll know something's wrong. He already knows. Jennifer was fired 2 hours ago. He called her at 6 this morning. Screaming, threatening. She recorded it. Natalie's smile was sharp, predatory. She's already agreed to testify, and she's filed a wrongful termination suit. His lawyers are scrambling. Claire's heart sank. She lost her job because of me. No, she lost her job because she chose decency over complicity. And she's going to be fine. I know 3 firms that would hire her today. Natalie kept writing. Second, forensic accountant. Men like Grant always have more hidden. We're going to find every penny, every asset, every lie. I don't have money for a forensic accountant. I do. Consider it an investment in watching him burn. Natalie looked up, met Claire's eyes. Third, we're contacting Rebecca Shaw's parents, getting them to reopen the investigation into their daughter's death. What if they don't believe me? They will, because they already suspected. Parents always know. They just didn't have proof before. Natalie pulled out more papers. Fourth, emergency restraining order. I filed the paperwork this morning. Hearing is in 48 hours. Until then, he's not allowed within 500 feet of you. Can you do that? We're still married. Domestic violence statutes don't care about marriage status. He took your car keys, your phone, your purse. He created a medical emergency and blocked your ability to get help. That's attempted murder. The restraining order is the least of his problems. A knock at the door. Natalie opened it. A woman entered. 50s, calm presence. Name tag said Teresa Gomez, domestic violence advocate. Wait, not Gomez. The names needed to be traditional American. Teresa Morrison. That worked. Mrs. Mitchell, I'm Teresa Morrison. I work with survivors of domestic violence. Your sister asked me to come talk to you. I'm not a victim of domestic violence. He never hit me. Teresa sat down. Her voice was gentle but firm. Domestic violence isn't just physical. It's financial, emotional, psychological. It's taking away your ability to make choices, to have resources, to leave. I should have seen it sooner. No, Teresa's voice sharpened. Stop that. Listen to me. I've worked with hundreds of women in situations like yours. They all say the same thing. I should have known. I should have seen it. I should have left sooner. And I tell them all the same thing. She leaned forward, made sure Claire was listening. Predators don't choose weak women. They choose strong women and spend years breaking them down. The fact that you survived this long, that you're sitting here fighting, that means you're stronger than he ever calculated. The words hit different. Claire had spent 4 years thinking she was weak, stupid, blind. But Teresa was right. Grant didn't marry a weak woman. He married a successful marketing director, someone with her own career, her own money, her own life. And he'd spent 4 years systematically destroying all of it. What do I do now? Claire's voice shook. Right now, you stay here. You heal. You let your sister handle the legal parts. You let me help you understand what happened and why. And you start planning your exit strategy. I don't have anywhere to go. You have options. They might not feel like good options right now, but options matter. Teresa pulled out a folder. Shelters, safe houses, transitional housing, financial assistance programs, legal aid, support groups. You're not alone in this. Claire started organizing the items on her bedside table while Teresa talked. Moving the water pitcher, lining up the chapstick and lotion, the box of tissues, control over small things. Teresa noticed. Didn't stop her. Just kept talking. The hospital's social worker wants to meet with you. Dr. Hartwell wants to do a full exam, document everything, for legal purposes. He'll say, I'm making it up, being dramatic, hormonal. Let him. We have evidence. Jennifer's testimony, security footage from your house showing him taking your things, the insurance cancellation, the timing, Rebecca Shaw's case. Let him try to explain all of that. Natalie's phone pinged. She checked it, smiled, not a nice smile, a warrior smile. Grant just called his lawyer, emergency meeting. They know we're coming. Good, Teresa said. Let them panic. Claire looked between them. These 2 women she barely knew, fighting for her, believing her, building a safety net strong enough to catch someone falling. Why are you doing this? The question came out small. Natalie's expression softened. Just a fraction. Because you're my sister. Because I should have pushed harder 3 years ago when I first suspected. Because I'm not letting him win. Teresa added, because you deserve better. Because your daughter deserves better. Because every woman I help now is one less funeral I have to attend later. A text message came through on Claire's new phone, the one Natalie had borrowed. Unknown number, just 2 words. Turn on channel 7. Claire grabbed the TV remote, flipped to the local news. Breaking story, red banner across the bottom of the screen. Millionaire real estate developer under investigation for insurance fraud. Grant Mitchell, CEO of Mitchell Development, is being investigated following allegations that he canceled his pregnant wife's health insurance days before she suffered a medical emergency. Sources say this may be part of a larger pattern. More details at 11. Natalie grinned. Funny how these things leak. You did this? I may have anonymously forwarded some information to a reporter friend, and that reporter may have contacted the State Insurance Commission, and the commission may have started asking questions. Natalie shrugged. Journalism is so important. Claire watched her perfect husband's perfect image crumble on live television. His company, his reputation, his carefully constructed facade, all of it falling apart. She should feel guilty, should feel bad. 4 years of conditioning said she should protect him, make excuses, stand by her man. Instead, she felt something else. Something small but growing. Something that felt like hope. What happens next? Claire asked. Natalie closed her briefcase. Next, we fight, we document, we build a case so solid he can't wiggle out of it. And then we make sure he never hurts anyone again, Teresa added. And you focus on you, on healing, on that baby, on remembering who you were before him. Because she's still in there, just buried. We're going to dig her out. A nurse came in, started checking vitals. Mrs. Mitchell, we're moving you to a different room, 4th floor, maternity ward, more secure. And there's a security guard outside your door. Hospital administration authorized it given the circumstances. Thank you. The nurse helped her into a wheelchair. Natalie grabbed the suitcase. Teresa walked alongside. They moved through the hospital like a small army, protecting, supporting, fighting. Claire's new room was smaller, but it had a window. Morning sunlight streamed through. She could see trees, sky, the world outside the hospital walls. She wasn't trapped anymore, wasn't alone, wasn't helpless. Grant had made one critical mistake. He'd assumed she'd die alone, isolated, with nobody to ask questions. But Jennifer asked questions. Natalie asked questions. Dr. Hartwell asked questions. And now those questions were becoming answers. Answers that would destroy him. The baby kicked. Strong, steady. This little girl was a fighter, just like her mother. Claire put her hand on her belly, made a promise, silent but solid. I'm getting us out, both of us, whatever it takes. Hour 48 in the hospital, 3 in the morning. The baby's heartbeat was stable. Claire's blood pressure was not. Preeclampsia complications on top of the placental abruption. Dr. Hartwell had put her on magnesium sulfate. It made her foggy, heavy, like moving through water. But it kept the seizures away, kept the baby safe. Grant had visited at 7 p.m., brought takeout, Thai food, her favorite, pad Thai with extra peanuts, spring rolls, mango sticky rice. She didn't eat it, something about the way he watched her. Too interested, too focused. Not hungry, he'd asked, voice full of disappointed concern. The medication makes me nauseous, he'd nodded. Understanding, patient, taking the food with him when he left. Don't want it to go to waste. His hand on her shoulder. The grip just a little too tight. The message clear. Be good. Play along. Don't make trouble. The security guard outside her door had made him nervous. Claire could see it. The way his eyes kept darting to the hallway. The way he cut his visit short. Only 10 minutes instead of his usual 12. I'll be back tomorrow, he'd said. Kissed her forehead. The gesture felt like a threat. Now it was 3 in the morning. The darkest part of night. When thoughts spiral and fears multiply, and the distance between now and morning feels infinite. Claire lay in the hospital bed, staring at the ceiling tiles, counting them. 42 tiles in a 7 by 6 grid. The math didn't work. 7 times 6 was 42. The math worked fine. Her brain wasn't working. The magnesium sulfate made thinking difficult, like pushing through fog. But some thoughts came through clearly. Sharp, cutting. Rebecca Shaw, 29 years old, dead at the bottom of a cliff. Single vehicle accident. No suspicious circumstances. How many times had Grant driven that road? Knew every curve, every dangerous spot. How hard would it be to suggest a romantic drive? Offer to drive her car so she could relax? Tamper with the brakes? The steering? Then walk away from the crash site? Call emergency services? Concerned boyfriend? Devastated. Broken. Claire's hands shook. She pressed them against her belly, felt the baby kick. This baby girl who was fighting so hard to live. She had to know, had to be sure, had to see if her instincts were right. Claire waited until the night nurse finished checking vitals. Older woman, not Dorothy this time. Someone new, efficient but kind. Name tag said Margaret. Margaret, do you know if the hospital has computers available for patients? I can't sleep. Thought I'd read something. The TV has internet access, clunky but it works. Margaret showed her how to access the browser. Left her alone. Claire pulled up the search engine again. Typed carefully. Each keystroke deliberate. Rebecca Shaw accident investigation. Found the police report. Publicly available. Brief. Clinical. Vehicle left roadway at approximately 8:30 p.m. Single occupant. No other vehicles involved. Speed estimated at 60 miles per hour. No skid marks. No evidence of mechanical failure. Toxicology negative for drugs and alcohol. Accidental death. Case closed. No skid marks. That meant Rebecca didn't brake. Didn't try to stop. Why wouldn't she brake if her car was going off the road? Unless she couldn't. Unless the brakes were cut. Or she was unconscious. Or the steering locked. Or someone had tampered with the car in a way that wouldn't show up in a basic investigation. Claire kept searching. Found Rebecca's social media, still active. Memorial page now. Friends posting memories. Photos, tributes. One post caught her eye. From Rebecca's college roommate, posted 2 weeks after the accident. Still can't believe you're gone. Keep thinking about our last conversation. You said you were planning something big. A new start. Wish you'd had the chance. A new start. What did that mean? New job, new city, or something else? Claire clicked through more posts, found one from Rebecca's mother, posted on the 1-year anniversary. Missing you every day, still have questions, still looking for answers, love you forever. Still have questions. Linda Shaw had questions, just like Claire had questions, just like any mother would have questions when her daughter drove off a cliff for no apparent reason. Claire found Linda Shaw's contact information, email address on the Memorial Fund website. She composed a message, deleted it, started again. Dear Mrs. Shaw, my name is Claire Mitchell. You don't know me, but I think we have something in common. I'm married to Grant Mitchell. He dated your daughter, Rebecca. I'm in the hospital right now, pregnant. There was a medical emergency. I had to crawl for help because my car keys and phone were missing. Because my insurance had been canceled by my husband, who also dated your daughter before she died in a car accident. I think he tried to kill me, and I think he killed Rebecca. I have evidence. My lawyer is building a case. We'd like to reopen the investigation into Rebecca's death. I'm so sorry for your loss. I'm sorry I didn't see this sooner. I'm sorry I can't bring her back. But maybe we can stop him from doing this to anyone else. Claire Mitchell. She read it 3 times. Her finger hovered over the send button. This was it. Once she sent this, there was no going back. No pretending. No denying. This was war. She pressed send. The email disappeared into the night. Gone. Out there, real. Claire closed the browser, lay back against the pillows. The baby kicked. Strong. Persistent. Alive. We're going to make it, Claire whispered. Both of us, I promise. But promises are easier to make than keep. And the night was long, and Grant was clever, and 11 months was a long time. Claire started crying, not gentle tears, deep sobs that hurt her ribs and made the monitors beep faster. She cried for Rebecca, For herself, for the years she'd lost, for the woman she used to be, for the fear that still lived in her chest. The door opened. Dorothy, the night nurse from before. Silver hair, kind eyes. She didn't say anything. Just pulled a chair next to the bed, sat down, took Claire's hand, held it. "It's okay," Dorothy said. "Let it out. You're safe right now, right here in this moment. You're safe." And for those few minutes, Claire believed her. In the darkness, in the hospital, with the stranger holding her hand, she felt safe. Dorothy stayed until the crying stopped, until Claire's breathing steadied, until the monitor slowed back to normal. "You're stronger than you know," Dorothy said. Same words as before, but they landed different this time, felt more real. "I don't feel strong." "Strong people never do. That's how you know you are actually strong. It's the weak ones who brag about it." Dorothy left. The room settled into quiet, just the monitors and the hum of the hospital and the baby's steady heartbeat. Claire's phone buzzed. New email notification from Linda Shaw. Sent at 3:23 in the morning. "Dear Claire, I've been waiting 6 years for this email. Can you talk tomorrow? I have information you need to hear. Linda." The phone call with Linda Shaw happened at 7 in the morning. Natalie was there. Teresa too, all of them on speakerphone. Linda's voice was steady, strong. A mother who'd spent 6 years grieving and doubting and knowing something was wrong. "I never believed it was an accident," Linda said. Rebecca was a careful driver, cautious. She'd driven that road 100 times. Why would she suddenly lose control? "What did the police say?" Natalie asked. Lawyer voice, taking notes. "They said sometimes accidents just happen. No mechanical failure, no drugs, no alcohol, just bad luck and excessive speed. But Rebecca didn't speed. She got anxious in cars. Always drove 5 miles under the limit." "Did you hire anyone to investigate?" Natalie asked. "A private investigator. He found some things, nothing definitive, but suspicious." Linda's voice wavered. 2 weeks before the accident, Rebecca came to visit. She said she was leaving Grant, that she'd figured something out, something about his business, something illegal. Claire leaned forward. "What did she figure out?" "She wouldn't tell me details. Said she needed to confirm first, gather evidence. But she was scared, more scared than I'd ever seen her. She said if anything happened to her, if there was an accident, it wasn't an accident." The words hung in the air, heavy, final. "Did you tell the police?" Natalie asked. "Yes, they said grief makes people paranoid. That Rebecca probably just had pre-accident anxiety, that sometimes people have premonitions. They didn't investigate further." "What did the private investigator find?" Claire asked. "Security footage from a gas station near the accident site. Shows Grant's car following Rebecca's car, 10 minutes before the crash. The investigator tried to get phone records, see if Grant called her, tried to get him to pull over, but the phone company wouldn't release records without a court order. And without evidence of foul play, no judge would authorize it." Natalie was writing fast. "Do you still have the investigator's report?" "Every page, every photo. I've kept everything, hoping someday someone would listen." "We're listening," Natalie said, "and we're reopening the case. I'm filing a motion this afternoon." Linda started crying, relief, grief, 6 years of waiting. "Thank you, thank you." They talked for another 20 minutes, comparing notes, building the case, pattern of behavior, financial motive, opportunity, method. Grant Mitchell killed his girlfriend and tried to kill his wife. Same playbook, just different details. After the call ended, Natalie stood, paced the hospital room. "He's going to fight this, hard. He has money, lawyers, reputation. This won't be easy." "I know," Claire said. "Are you ready for that? For your life to become public? For people to question you, judge you, say you're lying for money?" Claire thought about it, really thought. 4 years ago, she would have said no, would have backed down, made herself smaller, avoided conflict. But that was before. Before the crawling, before Jennifer, before Rebecca, before she understood what was at stake. "Yes," Claire said. "I'm ready." "Good." Natalie picked up her briefcase. Because he just arrived downstairs. Security called. He's demanding to see you. The restraining order hearing is in 2 hours, but it's not officially served yet. Technically, he can still come up. No, Teresa said. Hospital policy, domestic violence situations. We can restrict access even without a formal order. I'll talk to security. She left. Natalie checked her watch. I need to get to the courthouse. File the paperwork. Meet with the prosecutor. You'll be okay here? I'll be okay. Natalie hesitated, then crossed to the bed, hugged Claire. Awkward. They weren't huggers. Never had been. But the gesture meant something. Meant family. Meant not alone. Call me if anything happens. Anything. She left. Claire sat in the hospital bed, waiting, knowing Grant would find a way up. He always found a way. 11 minutes later, he walked in. Security guard tried to stop him. Grant pulled out his phone, showed something. The guard stepped Asu, let him through. Grant closed the door, stood at the foot of the bed. Perfect suit, perfect hair. But his eyes were different. Cold. Reptilian. The mask was slipping. You made a mistake, he said. Voice level. Controlled. I survived. That was your mistake. His jaw tightened. You think you're clever. Getting your sister involved. That assistant. That's nothing. I'll bury them. All of them. Rebecca Shaw. He went still. What about her? I know what you did. I know what you tried to do to me. And I know you've done it before. You're delusional, hormonal. My lawyer says we can probably get you psychiatric help, get you committed for your own safety. Your lawyer is scared. Jennifer has the emails, the insurance cancellation, the security footage showing you taking my keys and phone. Rebecca's parents are reopening the investigation. The police are looking at patterns. You can't gaslight your way out of evidence. Grant moved closer. His hand gripped the bed rail, knuckles white. Listen very carefully. You walk this back right now. Tell everyone you were confused, stressed, made a mistake. We'll get counseling, work it out. I'll even let you keep some money in the divorce. No, no, he laughed, sharp, bitter. You have nothing. No job, no money, no home. That prenup is ironclad. You'll get $50,000. That's it. Good luck starting over with a newborn and $50,000. The prenup becomes void when one party attempts to murder the other party. Clause 17B, invalidation due to criminal conduct. Your lawyers put it in. Guess they assumed you'd be smart enough not to actually try to kill me. His face changed. The charm disappeared completely. Behind the handsome features was something cold, something calculating, something that had been there all along. You can't prove anything. Watch me. He leaned over the bed, got close, too close, his breath hot on her face. I built an empire. I have resources you can't imagine. I will destroy you, your sister, your mother, everyone who helps you. I will make your life so miserable you'll wish you died on that driveway. The door opened. Security guard, larger this time, serious face. Sir, you need to leave, now. This is my wife. Not anymore. Natalie appeared in the doorway, held up papers. You're served, restraining order, 500 feet minimum distance. Violation means immediate arrest. Grant's lawyer appeared behind Natalie, expensive suit, worried expression. Grant, we need to go, don't say anything else. Grant straightened, adjusted his tie. The mask came back, partial, cracked, but trying. This isn't over. Yes, Claire said, it is. Security escorted him out. His voice echoed down the hallway, arguing, threatening, demanding. The sounds got fainter, disappeared. Claire's hands were shaking, adrenaline dump, fear, relief, all of it at once. Natalie came back in. You okay? I told him no. I actually told him no. I heard you were amazing, Natalie grinned. Did you see his face when you mentioned the prenup clause? I thought he'd pass out. What happens now? Now, criminal investigation officially opens. Rebecca's case gets reopened. Forensic accountant starts digging through his finances. And you focus on getting better. On that baby, on healing. Claire looked at her hands, still shaking. But not from fear anymore. from something else, something that felt like power. She'd spent 4 years making herself smaller, quieter, less, taking up less space, causing less trouble, being less everything. She was done being less. The baby kicked. Strong, insistent, a reminder, a promise, a reason to keep fighting. "I'm not going back," Claire said. "Whatever happens, I'm not going back to him." "Good," Natalie said, "because there's no going back, only forward, and we're going to walk forward together." 2 weeks passed. Claire was discharged from the hospital, not to the mansion, to Natalie's guest house. Small cottage behind her sister's main house. 1 bedroom, tiny kitchen, bathroom with a shower that sputtered. But it was hers. Safe. Free. The forensic accountant found everything. Milton Harper, 60 years old, specialized in high net worth divorces. He'd spent 2 weeks digging through Grant's finances and found a gold mine. Offshore accounts in the Cayman Islands. Shell companies in Delaware. Real estate holdings under fake names. Grant's real net worth wasn't millions. It was tens of millions. Hidden, protected, illegal. "He's been committing tax fraud for at least a decade," Milton said. Sitting at Natalie's dining table, surrounded by printouts and spreadsheets. "Maybe longer. The IRS is going to have a field day." "How much are we talking?" Natalie asked. "Conservative estimate, 40 million, maybe more, still tracing some accounts." Claire felt dizzy. $40 million, while she'd lived on an allowance, asked permission to buy groceries, apologized for spending $50 on maternity clothes. "The prenup specified his assets at the time of marriage," Natalie said. "He claimed $3 million, if he actually had $40 million. That's fraud. The whole prenup is void." Milton nodded, plus community property laws. Half of everything earned during the marriage belongs to her, even hidden assets. "So I get half of 40 million? Claire's voice came out small, disbelieving. "Probably more, because the fraud and attempted murder and criminal charges mean punitive damages. Civil suit on top of criminal case. You could walk away with 30 million, maybe more." $30 million. Claire had spent 4 years thinking she had nothing. Was nothing. Would be nothing without Grant. She was a millionaire, had been the whole time. She just didn't know it. "What about Rebecca?" Claire asked. "Her parents?" "Good news there too," Natalie said. Police reopened the investigation. Found the gas station footage Linda mentioned. Traced Grant's phone records. He called Rebecca 15 times the day she died. Last call was 7 minutes before the crash. They're testing her car for tampering. Brake lines, steering, computer systems. Will they find anything after 6 years? Maybe, maybe not. But the pattern is enough. 2 women, both involved with Grant, both dead or nearly dead right before prenup terms would have changed, both with insurance policies or inheritance issues. Prosecutors love patterns. The criminal investigation had moved fast. Insurance fraud was federal. Attempted murder was state. Add in the tax evasion, and suddenly Grant Mitchell was facing decades in prison. His company was imploding. Investors pulling out. Business partners distancing themselves. Marcus Webb had testified. Said Grant was unstable, obsessed with control. Made disturbing comments about women. About Claire specifically. Jennifer Price had testified too. Brought every email, every document, every piece of evidence. Her wrongful termination lawsuit had settled for $200,000. She'd found a better job within a week. "You saved my life," Claire had told her during a phone call. "You saved mine," Jennifer had responded. "I was becoming complicit. You reminded me I had a choice." The trial was set for 3 months away, but Grant's lawyer was already negotiating a plea. 20 years minimum, maybe 25. No possibility of parole. His mother had finally called. Rachel Mitchell, 66 years old, crying. "I knew something was wrong. I told myself I was imagining things. I'm so sorry." Claire hadn't forgiven her. Didn't need to. Just moved forward. Rebecca's parents had visited last week. Brought flowers. Photos of Rebecca. "Thank you for not giving up," Linda Shaw said. "For being brave enough for both of you." They'd cried together. 2 families connected by the same monster. Finding comfort in shared truth. You should start thinking about what you want, Natalie said. After this is over, after the divorce is final, what does your life look like? Claire had been thinking about it every night in the cottage, every morning watching the sunrise, every time the baby kicked. A foundation, Claire said, for women escaping financial abuse. Rebecca's fund, to help them get resources, legal help, financial planning, therapy, housing, everything I needed and almost didn't get. That's perfect, Natalie said. We can set it up as a nonprofit. Use some of the settlement money. Make a real difference. Claire put her hand on her belly. 8 months pregnant now, 1 month to go. The baby was strong, healthy, growing, fighting. I want to tell my daughter the truth, Claire said, when she's old enough. Not to scare her, but to teach her what love isn't, what strength is, how to recognize danger before it's too late. Well, you're going to be an amazing mother, Teresa said. She'd been coming over twice a week. Therapy sessions, processing trauma, building coping skills. I hope so. You already are. You crawled 3 miles to save her. That's as amazing as it gets. Claire looked around Natalie's dining room, at the people who'd saved her. Natalie, Milton, Teresa, and others. Dr. Hartwell, who'd asked the right questions. Jennifer, who'd brought evidence. Linda Shaw, who'd never stopped looking for truth. Brooke, who'd shown up and never left. Women building nets for other women. Catching each other when someone falls. Refusing to let anyone die alone. Thank you, Claire said. All of you, for believing me, for fighting for me. We're not done fighting, Natalie said. Trial's not over, settlement's not signed. He could still cause problems. Let him try, Claire said. I'm not afraid anymore. And she meant it. The fear had lifted, slowly, gradually, replaced by something stronger. Something solid, certainty, purpose, rage transformed into action. Grant had tried to erase her. Instead, he'd revealed her, the woman she was underneath, the woman who survived, who fought, who refused to die quietly. That woman was strong, fierce, unbreakable. That woman was going to change the world. The contractions started at 2 in the morning. Of course they did. 2 a.m. seemed to be Claire's designated hour for life-changing moments. Exactly 3 months since she'd crawled down that driveway bleeding and terrified. Now she was about to meet the baby who'd fought so hard to survive. Natalie, Claire's voice cut through the darkness of the cottage. Natalie, it's time. Her sister appeared in the doorway within seconds. Hair messy, eyes alert, already grabbing the hospital bag they'd packed 3 weeks ago. How far apart? 5 minutes. They're real, I can tell. Okay. Natalie was moving fast, efficient, lawyer brain kicking into crisis mode. I'm calling Dr. Brooks, getting the car. Can you walk? I can walk. I crawled 3 miles. I can walk to a car. Natalie paused, looked at her, smiled. Yeah, you can. The drive to Riverside General took 18 minutes. Natalie ran 2 red lights. Claire didn't care. The contractions were coming faster now. 4 minutes apart, then 3. The baby was done waiting. After surviving everything, this little fighter wanted out. They arrived at the maternity ward at 2:45. Dr. Samuel Brooks was already there, 63 years old, Claire's OBGYN since she'd gotten pregnant. He'd visited her during the hospital stay after the abruption, had testified about Grant's refusal to attend prenatal appointments, had documented every sign of abuse he'd missed. I should have seen it sooner, he told Claire during one visit. I failed you. You didn't fail me, he fooled everyone. That's what predators do. Now Dr. Brooks examined her. Professional, gentle. You're at 6 centimeters. Moving fast, this baby wants to meet you. They moved her to a delivery room. Private, secure, no chance of Grant somehow appearing. He was in county jail. Bail denied. But Claire still felt better with the locked door, the security guard in the hallway, the safety measures. Natalie stayed, held Claire's hand through every contraction. Dr. Ellen Hartwell appeared at 4 a.m., off duty, but she'd asked to be called when Claire went into labor. Wouldn't miss this for anything, Dr. Hartwell said. Been waiting to meet this little warrior. The contractions got worse. Better. Worse again. Pain building. Claire had declined the epidural, wanted to feel everything, wanted to be present. After months of feeling numb, feeling disconnected, feeling erased, she wanted to feel alive. "You're at 9 centimeters, Dr. Brooks said at 5:30. Almost there. Brooke arrived at 6, brought coffee for Natalie, encouragement for Claire. "You've got this. You survived Grant Mitchell. Labor is nothing." Patricia arrived at 6:30, Claire's mother, crying already. Happy tears, relieved tears, grandmother tears. "My baby's having a baby." "Mom," Claire squeezed her hand, "I'm so glad you're here. Nowhere else I'd be." The room filled with women. Natalie, Brooke, Patricia, Dr. Hartwell, 2 nurses Claire recognized from her previous stay. Jamie with the kind eyes. Margaret, who'd held her hand at 3 a.m. All of them here. All of them witnessing. All of them catching her if she fell. 10 centimeters, Dr. Brooks announced at 7:15. "It's time. When the next contraction comes, I want you to push." Claire pushed. Pain exploded. She screamed, didn't care, let it out. All the fear, all the rage, all the months of being silent. She screamed and pushed and felt her body doing what bodies do, creating life, bringing forth something beautiful from something broken. "I can see the head," Dr. Brooks said. "One more push, big one." Claire pushed, felt something give, felt release, felt her daughter slide into the world. The cry came immediately, loud, angry, alive. "It's a girl," Dr. Brooks said. But Claire already knew, had known for months. This was her daughter, her Rebecca Hope. They placed the baby on Claire's chest. Tiny, red, screaming, absolutely perfect. Claire touched her daughter's face, counted fingers, counted toes. All there, all healthy, all alive. "Hello, Rebecca Hope," Claire whispered. "We made it. Both of us. We actually made it." The baby stopped crying, looked at Claire with unfocused newborn eyes, dark blue-gray, like the ocean, like the sky before sunrise, like hope. Dr. Brooks finished the delivery. Nurses cleaned the baby, weighed her, 7 pounds, 6 ounces, 20 inches long, perfect APGAR scores. No complications, nothing but healthy. They brought her back wrapped in a pink blanket, hospital-issued, standard. But to Claire, it looked like royalty, her daughter, her survivor. Her proof that good things can come from terrible situations. "She's beautiful," Natalie said, voice thick with emotion. "She looks like you." "She has Grant's nose," Claire said. "Who cares? The rest is all you. Strong, fighter, survivor." Brooke took photos. Patricia cried more. Dr. Hartwell squeezed Claire's shoulder. "You did it. Both times. You saved her life. Now you get to watch her live it." They moved Claire to a recovery room. Private, secure. Windows overlooking the hospital garden. February morning. Cold outside, but sunny. New beginning in every sense. Rebecca Hope slept in the bassinet beside the bed, making small noises, little squeaks and sighs. Claire couldn't stop watching her. Couldn't believe she was real. After everything, this perfect human existed. Flowers started arriving at 9 a.m., first from Linda and Thomas Shaw. Huge arrangement, lilies and roses. Card read, "Welcome to the world, little warrior, named for our daughter, loved by all of us. You honor her memory by living fully." Linda and Thomas. Claire cried reading it. Rebecca Shaw would have been 35 now. Would have had her own life, her own babies maybe. But Grant took that, took everything. And this baby, this living, breathing Rebecca, was proof that he didn't win. Death doesn't win. Love wins. Life wins. More flowers. From Jennifer Price. "Congratulations on your beautiful daughter. Thank you for teaching me courage." Jennifer and Emma. Emma was her 3-year-old, the daughter she'd protected by speaking up. From Teresa Morrison. "Welcome to motherhood. You're going to be amazing. You already are." Teresa. From Dr. Brooks. "She's perfect, just like I knew she would be. Congratulations." Samuel. From Marcus Webb. "Congratulations to you and your daughter. Wishing you both every happiness. The past is behind you. The future is bright. Marcus. A card arrived. No flowers, just words on expensive cardstock. From Rachel Mitchell, Grant's mother. I'm so sorry for everything. Congratulations on your daughter. She deserves better than what our family showed you. I hope someday you can forgive me. Rachel. Claire read it twice, filed it away. Forgiveness wasn't for today, maybe not for tomorrow, but she wouldn't carry hate either. Rachel Mitchell was a woman who'd chosen her son over truth. That was Rachel's burden to carry, not Claire's, nothing from Grant. He was in county jail, awaiting trial. His lawyers had tried to get bail. Judge said no. Flight risk, danger to others. $50 million net worth hidden in offshore accounts gave him means to disappear. History of harming women gave him reason to run. So he sat in jail, and Claire sat in a hospital room holding their daughter. And the distance between those two realities felt like justice. Lunch came, hospital food, but Claire ate every bite, hungry in a way she hadn't been in months. Her body had done something incredible. Created life, pushed life into the world, protected life through hell. She deserved to be hungry. Rebecca woke at 1 p.m., screaming. Claire tried to nurse her, awkward at first, painful, but then the baby latched, started eating, and Claire felt something shift, felt purpose, felt connection, felt like this was what she was meant to do. You're a natural, the lactation consultant said. Young woman, encouraging. Some babies take days to figure it out. She knows exactly what she wants. She's been fighting since conception, Claire said. She doesn't give up. Neither do you. I read about your case, what you survived. You're both fighters. The afternoon passed in a blur of visitors. Natalie stayed all day, working from the hospital room. Laptop open, phone calls happening, but never leaving, never letting Claire be alone. Brooke brought dinner, real food, not hospital food. Thai takeout from the good place downtown. Claire ate pad thai and spring rolls and mango sticky rice. The same meal Grant had brought to the hospital 3 months ago. The meal she'd been too scared to eat. This tastes different, Claire said. Same restaurant, Brooke said. I know, but it tastes different. Better. Like I can actually taste it now. That's what freedom tastes like. Night fell, visitors left, just Claire and Rebecca Hope in the quiet room. The baby sleeping, Claire watching. Still not quite believing this was real. A knock at the door. Dr. Hartwell appeared. Just wanted to check on you before my shift ends. How are you feeling? Sore, tired, happy. Is that weird? To be happy right now? Not weird. Perfect. Dr. Hartwell sat down. Can I tell you something? Of course, I've been an ER doctor for 22 years. I've seen hundreds of domestic violence cases, maybe thousands. Most of them don't end like this. Most of them end with women going back, or staying silent, or dying before they can get help. She looked at Claire. You didn't just survive. You fought. You built something. You're going to help so many women. You already have. I couldn't have done it without people like you, asking the right questions. And you couldn't have done it without being ready to hear them. That's the hardest part. Being ready. Dr. Hartwell stood. Congratulations. On your daughter, on your freedom, on your life. You earned all of it. She left. Claire sat in the dark, Rebecca breathing softly in the bassinet, and Claire made promises, silent but solid. I will teach you your worth. I will teach you what love really looks like. I will teach you to recognize danger. I will teach you to be strong, but also to ask for help. I will teach you that crawling towards safety is braver than standing in danger. I will teach you that you don't owe anyone your silence. I will teach you that the people who love you want you to be big, not small. I will teach you everything I learned the hard way. The baby stirred. Claire picked her up, held her close. This weight, this responsibility, this incredible gift. Your name is Rebecca Hope, Claire whispered. Rebecca for a woman who didn't survive. Hope for the future we're both going to live. You're named for courage and possibility. Never forget that. Rebecca Hope made a small sound, settled against Claire's chest, went back to sleep. Claire held her daughter and watched the city lights through the window. Somewhere out there, 800 women were sleeping safely tonight because of Rebecca's fund. 800 women who'd escaped, who'd found resources, who'd built new lives. That number would grow. The fund was expanding, regional offices opening, more staff hired, more women saved. And it all started here in a hospital room with a woman who crawled when she couldn't walk, who fought when she couldn't stand, who survived when she was supposed to die. Claire Mitchell had lost everything and gained everything, and taught her daughter that sometimes losing everything is how you find out what actually matters. She slept that night with Rebecca in her arms, both of them safe, both of them free, both of them alive. And that was enough, more than enough, everything. 3 days later, they went home, not to the mansion, not to Natalie's cottage, to a new place. Small house Claire had bought with advance money from the settlement. 3 bedrooms, yellow kitchen, garden waiting for spring, neighborhood full of families. Normal, safe, hers. The nursery was ready. Natalie and Brooke had painted it soft green, neutral, peaceful. Crib from Patricia, rocking chair from Linda Shaw, changing table from Jennifer. Every piece had meaning. Every piece had love. Claire put Rebecca in the crib, watched her sleep, still not quite believing this was real. This perfect human, this new beginning, this proof that terrible things can lead to beautiful things if you survive them. Her phone buzzed. Text from the forensic accountant, Milton Harper. Settlement finalized. Wire transfer processing. Should hit your account by end of week. Congratulations. $28 million after legal fees, after taxes, after everything. More money than Claire had ever imagined having. More money than she'd need in 3 lifetimes. But it wasn't about the money, never was. It was about justice, about pattern recognition, about making sure Grant Mitchell never hurt anyone again. The trial was set for April, 2 months away. But Grant's lawyers were already negotiating a plea. They'd seen the evidence, the emails, the insurance cancellation, the security footage. Rebecca Shaw's case reopened with new forensic evidence. The pattern was undeniable. 25 years in prison, minimum. That was the offer. Take it or risk 50 years at trial. Grant's lawyers were pushing him to take it. Save face. Avoid public humiliation of a trial. Claire hoped he'd refuse, hoped he'd go to trial, hoped everyone would see exactly what he was. But she'd be satisfied either way. Prison was prison. Whether he went for 25 years or 50, he'd be old when he got out. Too old to hurt anyone else, if he got out at all. February turned to March. Rebecca grew, started smiling, started focusing her eyes, started recognizing Claire's voice. The bond strengthened. Mother and daughter, survivors together. Claire worked from home, running Rebecca's fund remotely. Zoom calls, email chains, strategic planning. They'd helped 900 women now. Goal was 1,000 by summer. Applications poured in. Women from every state, every background, every situation, all of them with the same story. Different details, same pattern. Men who took and took and took until there was nothing left, until the women disappeared into shadows. Rebecca's fund brought them back into light, gave them resources, options, safety nets. The thing Claire had almost not gotten, the thing that saved her life. Natalie visited every day, brought coffee, brought paperwork, brought news about the case. Grant's mother tried to visit him yesterday. He refused to see her, told the guards to put her on the no-visit list. She's still defending him? No, that's the thing. She wanted to apologize. Tell him to take the plea. Beg him to at least show remorse. He won't. Can't admit he did anything wrong. Classic narcissist. How's Jennifer doing? Amazing, new job, better pay, better boss. Her daughter's thriving. She's thinking about writing a book, about recognizing red flags, about choosing courage. She should. People need to hear her story. March turned to April. Trial date approached. Grant took the plea. 25 years. Involuntary manslaughter in Rebecca Shaw's death. Attempted murder in Claire's case. Insurance fraud. Tax evasion. Financial fraud. Domestic violence. The charges stacked up like cordwood. The sentencing hearing was April 15th. Claire went, brought Rebecca. 3 months old now, alert, curious, looking around the courtroom with wide eyes. Grant was brought in wearing orange, county jail jumpsuit, shackled, hair messy, face pale. He'd lost weight, lost power, lost everything. He didn't look at Claire, didn't look at Rebecca, kept his eyes down. Ashamed or tactical, hard to tell. The judge read the charges, read the plea agreement, asked Grant if he understood. Yes, Your Honor. His voice was small, defeated. Do you have anything to say before I impose sentence? Grant's lawyer whispered to him, probably telling him to show remorse, express regret, beg for mercy. Grant stood, looked at the judge. I made mistakes. I accept responsibility. That was it. No apology, no acknowledgement of who he'd hurt, just vague corporate speak. Mistakes, like forgetting to copy someone on an email, not trying to murder 2 women. The judge wasn't impressed. Mr. Mitchell, I've read everything, the evidence, the testimony, the pattern. You didn't make mistakes. You made choices, deliberate, calculated, evil choices. You chose to control, to attempt murder. Those aren't mistakes, those are crime. She sentenced him to 25 years in state prison, no parole eligibility for 20 years. He'd be 64 when he got out, if he lived that long. They took him away, still not looking at Claire, still not acknowledging what he'd done, still believing somehow he was the victim. Claire walked out of the courthouse with Rebecca in her arm, Natalie beside her, Brooke and Patricia following, Linda and Thomas Shaw waiting outside, Jennifer Price with her daughter Emma, Teresa Morrison, Dr. Hartwell, Marcus Webb, everyone who'd helped, everyone who'd fought, everyone who'd built the net. It's over, Linda Shaw said, crying. He can't hurt anyone else. Rebecca got justice. You got justice. We all got justice, Claire said, because we stood together, because we refused to stay silent, because we built something bigger than him. They went to lunch, hole in the wall, Italian place, red checkered tablecloths, cheap wine, good food, everyone talking, laughing, celebrating. Not because Grant went to prison, because the women survived, because they'd built community, because love and truth won over manipulation and lies. Rebecca Hope slept through lunch. Full belly, safe environment, surrounded by people who'd fought for her before she was born. This baby would grow up knowing she was wanted, protected, loved. That evening, Claire sat in the rocking chair, nursing Rebecca, watching sunset through the nursery window, pink and orange streaking across the sky. New day ending, another new day coming tomorrow. Her phone rang. Unknown number. She almost didn't answer, but something made her. Hello? Mrs. Mitchell, my name is Sarah. I heard you speak last month about financial abuse, about escaping. I think I need help. I think my husband is trying to kill me. Claire shifted Rebecca to one arm, grabbed her notebook with the other. Tell me everything. Start from the beginning, and know that whatever you're feeling right now, you're not crazy. You're not overreacting, and you're not alone. Sarah talked for an hour. Same story, different details. Controlling husband, money disappearing, friends pushed away, medical emergencies ignored, car breaking down suspiciously. The pattern was there, clear as day to someone who'd lived it. Can you help me? Sarah's voice shook. Can you get me out? Yes, we can absolutely get you out. Here's what we're going to do. Claire walked Sarah through the steps, emergency go bag, safe house, legal assistance, financial planning, police report, restraining order. Every resource Rebecca's fund had built. By the end of the call, Sarah was crying, relief, hope, the feeling that someone believed her, the feeling that escape was possible. Thank you, Sarah said. Thank you for surviving, for telling your story, for building this. You saved my life. You're saving your own life, Claire said. I'm just holding the door open, and I'll be here every step of the way. You're not alone anymore. After the call ended, Claire sat in the dark, Rebecca asleep in her arms. Outside, the world kept turning. Inside, another woman was escaping. Another net was catching someone falling. Another life was being saved. This was her purpose now, Not being Grant Mitchell's wife, not living in a mansion, not attending charity galas in designer gowns, but this, helping women escape, building networks of support, creating paths to freedom. She'd crawled 3 miles bleeding and pregnant, and that crawl had led her here, to this moment, this mission, this life. Claire looked down at her daughter. You're going to grow up knowing women are strong, that we save each other, that asking for help is courage, not weakness, that crawling towards safety beats standing in danger every single time. Rebecca made a small sound, settled deeper into sleep. This baby who'd survived everything, who'd fought from conception to birth, who'd come into the world screaming and alive and absolutely perfect. She was named for a woman who didn't make it out, and she'd grow up honoring that name by living fully, freely, fearlessly. Claire carried her daughter to the crib, laid her down gently, covered her with a soft blanket, stood watching her breathe. Tomorrow would bring more work, more women to help, more stories to witness, more nets to build. But tonight was for peace, for gratitude, for recognizing that she'd made it. They'd both made it, and that was everything. 6 months passed like water. Rebecca Hope turned 6 months old in August, sitting up, babbling, eating solid foods, growing into a person with opinions and preferences and now an absolutely devastating smile. The foundation had exploded. Rebecca's Fund now had offices in 7 states, 15 full-time employees, 50 volunteer advocates. They'd helped 1,500 women escape dangerous situations. The goal was 3,000 by end of year. Claire was the director, not just the founder, not just the face, the actual working director. She went to the office 4 days a week, brought Rebecca when she couldn't find childcare. Her daughter attended board meetings from a pack and play, attended strategy sessions from a high chair, grew up surrounded by women helping women. Linda Shaw was director of survivor support. She'd quit her job as an interior designer, dedicated herself full-time to the foundation. Rebecca didn't get to do this work, Linda said, but I can, in her name for her memory. Jennifer Price was deputy director, operations and fundraising. She was brilliant at both, had corporate contacts, knew how to write grants, how to cultivate donors, how to build sustainable infrastructure. Thank you for this, Jennifer said during a staff meeting, for giving me a way to make it right. I was complicit. I processed that insurance cancellation. I'll spend the rest of my life making up for it. You already made up for it, Claire said. You spoke up. You brought evidence. You chose courage when it mattered most. You saved my life. Now we're saving others together. Teresa Morrison ran the advocacy program, training volunteers, building regional networks, creating protocols for safety and support. She'd worked in domestic violence services for 30 years, knew every pitfall, every success strategy, every way to help without causing more harm. Natalie was board chair, still practicing law, still representing Claire in ongoing civil matters, still being the protective older sister, but now channeling that protection into systemic change, policy advocacy, legislative lobbying, building legal frameworks to protect women. The foundation's first major fundraiser was scheduled for October. Big gala, 200 guests, goal was to raise $3 million, enough to expand to 15 states, hire more staff, help more women, build more nets. Claire was nervous. Public speaking had never been her thing. Before Grant, she'd done presentations for work. She'd done, but that was different. Marketing pitches, PowerPoint decks, corporate audiences. This was personal, vulnerable. Her story, her trauma, her survival, all of it on display for rich people who'd write checks. You'll be amazing, Brooke said, helping Claire pick a dress. Just tell the truth. That's all anyone needs to hear. They settled on a blue dress, simple, elegant, not too formal, not too casual. Claire Mitchell, not trying to be anyone else. The gala was at the Riverside Grand Ballroom, the same venue where Claire had met Grant 7 years ago. Natalie had suggested a different location. Too many bad memories, but Claire insisted. He doesn't get to ruin that space, she said. He doesn't get to take anything else from me. We're taking it back, filling it with something good. The night arrived, October 15th, cool autumn evening. Claire wore the blue dress, minimal makeup, hair simple. Rebecca wore a tiny dress, pink with white flowers. 6 months old and absolutely stealing the show. Patricia was backstage with Rebecca, grandmother duty, letting Claire focus on the speech. The pitch, the mission, the ballroom filled. Donors, supporters, survivors, media, local politicians, business leaders, people who'd heard Claire's story, people who wanted to help, people who believed women deserve better. Natalie introduced Claire, brief biography, carefully worded. Claire Mitchell survived attempted murder by her husband. Instead of hiding, she built something. Instead of staying silent, she helped others speak. Tonight, she's going to tell you why this work matters, why every woman deserves a net when she falls. Claire walked onto the stage, microphone in hand, bright lights, 200 faces watching. She could see Linda Shaw in the front row, Jennifer Price beside her, Teresa Morrison, Dr. Hartwell, Marcus Webb, everyone who'd saved her, everyone who'd believed her, everyone who'd fought. "Thank you for being here," Claire said, her voice steady, strong. "I want to tell you a story. It's not a comfortable story, it's not a pretty story, but it's a true story, and truth matters more than comfort." She told them everything, the isolation, the control, the erasure, the night she woke up bleeding, the crawl down the driveway, the missing keys and phone and purse, the canceled insurance, the systematic attempt to murder her while she was pregnant. The room was silent, people crying, people angry, people recognizing pieces of their own stories, their daughters' stories, their friends' stories. "I thought I was alone," Claire said. "I thought I was crazy. I thought I was the problem." That's what abuse does. It makes you doubt your own reality, makes you think you're imagining things, makes you believe you deserve it. She paused. Let that land. Let people sit with the uncomfortable truth. "But I wasn't alone. A stranger called 911. A doctor asked the right questions. An assistant brought evidence. My sister flew across the country. A lawyer took my case. An advocate witnessed my pain. A mother who'd lost her daughter shared her story. Women built a net, and they caught me when I fell." Claire looked around the room, made eye contact. Let people see her, really see her. "Now we're building bigger nets, stronger nets. Rebecca's fund helps women escape financial abuse. We provide legal assistance, emergency housing, financial counseling, therapy, job training, everything a woman needs to leave safely and start over. In 10 months, we've helped 1,500 women. 1,500. That's 1,500 women who aren't dead. 1,500 women who are free. 1,500 women who are building new lives." She showed photos on the screen behind her. Women who'd agreed to share their stories. Different faces, different ages, different backgrounds. Same relief in their eyes. The relief of being believed, being helped, being saved. "We want to help 3,000 women this year, 5,000 next year, 10,000 the year after. We want offices in every state. We want advocates in every city. We want resources in every language. We want every woman who's being abused to know there's a way out. There's help available. There's a net waiting to catch her." Claire shared the numbers. Average cost per woman was $2,000. Legal fees, housing deposits, counseling, job training, $2,000 to save a life, to give someone freedom, to stop a pattern. Tonight, we're asking you to invest in women, not as charity, as justice, as prevention, as recognition that abuse doesn't happen because women are weak. It happens because abusers are calculated, and the only way to stop them is to build systems stronger than their manipulation. She finished, walked off stage. The applause started slow, then built. Standing ovation. 200 people on their feet, clapping, crying, believing. The donations poured in, pledge cards filled out, credit cards processed, checks written. By the end of the night, they'd raised $4.2 million. More than the goal, more than Claire had dreamed. A woman approached afterward, mid-50s, elegant, nervous. "Mrs. Mitchell, can I talk to you?" "Of course." They moved to a quiet corner. The woman's hand shook. "My daughter, she's in a situation like yours. Her husband controls everything. She can't leave. Has 3 kids, no money, no family nearby. I've been trying to help, but I don't know how." Claire took her hand. "What's her name?" "Amanda." "Okay, here's what we're going to do." Claire pulled out her phone, texted Jennifer. "My deputy director is going to call Amanda tomorrow. We'll assess the situation, make a safety plan, get her resources. She doesn't have to stay. We can help her leave." The woman started crying. "Thank you. I thought I was going to lose her. The way he looks at her. The way he controls her. I was so scared." "You're not going to lose her. We're going to get her out. All of them. Amanda and the kids. Safe. Together. Free." More women approached. All night, different versions of the same story. Daughters, sisters, friends, themselves. All of them trapped or escaping or helping someone trapped. All of them needing resources, needing community, needing proof that escape was possible. Claire talked to all of them, gave out cards, made promises, connected people to advocates. This was the work. Not speeches, not galas, but this. One woman at a time, one family at a time. Building nets, catching people, refusing to let anyone fall alone. The night ended at midnight. Claire was exhausted, drained, but good. Like she'd done something that mattered. Like her pain had purpose. Like crawling down that driveway had led her exactly where she needed to be. Patricia brought Rebecca out. The baby was awake, bright-eyed, alert, looking around at all the people. "She was so good," Patricia said. "Played with toys, ate her dinner, charmed everyone backstage." Claire took her daughter, held her close. This weight, this responsibility, this incredible gift. "We raised $4 million tonight," Claire told Rebecca. "Do you know what that means? That means 2,000 women are going to get out safely. 2,000 families are going to be free. 2,000 lives are going to change. Because people believe in this work. Because survivors are speaking up. Because women are building nets for other women." Rebecca grabbed Claire's nose, laughed. The sound was pure joy, uncomplicated, perfect. They went home. Small house, yellow kitchen, garden now full of autumn flowers. Inside, the nursery glowed with soft light, crib, rocking chair, changing table, every piece chosen with love. Claire changed Rebecca into pajamas, fed her, rocked her to sleep. The routine was familiar now, comforting. This was her life. This was enough. More than enough, everything. A text came through, from Sarah, the woman who'd called 6 months ago. "Just got my nursing degree, starting my new job Monday, bought my first car, my own car, my name on the title. Thank you for saving my life." Claire smiled, texted back, "You saved your own life. I just helped with the paperwork. Proud of you." More texts from women across the country, women the fund had helped, women who were rebuilding, women who were free. "Got the restraining order extended. He can't contact me for 5 years. Started my own business, graphic design, taking clients, making real money. My kids asked why we left. I told them the truth. They said they were glad we're safe. Best conversation of my life. Met someone new, a good man, a real man, someone who respects me. Didn't think I'd ever trust again, but I do." Each message was proof, evidence that the work mattered, that survival was possible, that women could escape and rebuild and thrive. Claire put Rebecca in the crib, covered her with a blanket, stood watching her breathe. This perfect human, this living proof that terrible things can lead to beautiful things if you survive them. Her phone rang, late night call. She almost didn't answer, but the number looked familiar. "Hello? Claire, it's Linda Shaw. I hope it's not too late to call." "Not at all. Is everything okay?" "More than okay." Linda's voice was thick with emotion. "Thomas and I just wanted to tell you. Tonight, the gala, seeing Rebecca's name everywhere, seeing all those women getting help, Knowing our daughter's memory is doing this, it's everything. It's more than we could have hoped for. Claire sat down. She deserves to be remembered, not as a victim, as a reason, as a catalyst, as proof that one woman's tragedy can become thousands of women's freedom. That's exactly it. That's exactly what we needed to hear. Linda paused. Can I tell you something? Anything. Before Rebecca died, she told me she wanted to do something that mattered, something that helped people. She was always so worried about others, so generous, so kind. I think she would have loved this work. I think she would have loved you. Claire's eyes filled with tears. I would have loved her too. I wish I could have known her. Wish I could thank her for leading me to the truth. Wish she was here to see this. She is here. Every time a woman escapes, every time someone gets help, every time you tell your story, she's there, working through you, working through all of us. They talked for another hour about Rebecca Shaw, about the foundation, about the future, about how pain can become purpose if you're brave enough to transform it. After the call ended, Claire sat in the dark, house quiet, baby sleeping, world at peace. She thought about Grant, sitting in prison, 18 months into a 25-year sentence. 18 years until parole eligibility. He'd be in his 60s by then, old, broken, forgotten. She rarely thought about him anymore. He'd become irrelevant, just another man who'd tried and failed to destroy something stronger than he understood. The anger had faded, not forgiveness, just indifference. He didn't matter, never really had. He was just an obstacle, a test, a gauntlet she'd had to run, and she'd run it, crawled it, survived it, won. Claire checked her email. Message from the foundation's grant writer. Just heard back from the federal government. We got the grant, $2 million over 3 years for national expansion. We're going nationwide. She read it 3 times. Let it sink in. $2 million, federal funding, national expansion. The work was growing, the net was spreading, more women would be saved. Another email from a woman named Maria. I saw your speech online. My husband did the same things to me. Took my keys, canceled my insurance, isolated me from family. I thought I was alone, thought I was crazy, but you showed me I'm not. Can you help me get out? Please, I have 2 daughters. I can't let them grow up thinking this is normal. Claire responded immediately. Yes, we can help you. Here's my direct number. Call tomorrow. We'll make a safety plan. Get you resources. You and your daughters will be safe, I promise. The work never stopped. The calls never stopped. The women never stopped needing help. And Claire never stopped showing up. This was her life now, not perfect, not glamorous, but real, purposeful, meaningful. She'd lost a marriage, but gained her life, gained her daughter, gained her purpose, gained a community of women who saved each other. And that was always the better trade. 1 year later, Rebecca Hope turned 18 months old, walking, running, talking in full sentences, a tiny human with big opinions and an even bigger smile. The foundation had grown beyond Claire's wildest dreams. Offices in 15 states, 75 employees, 200 volunteer advocates. They'd helped 5,000 women in 2 years, 5,000 families free, 5,000 lives changed. Claire had been featured in major media. Time magazine cover story, the woman who crawled to freedom and built a ladder for others. NPR interview, TED Talk, book deal in negotiation. Her story was everywhere, and every time she told it, more women came forward. The work expanded, not just domestic violence, but legislative advocacy, policy change, cultural shift. They partnered with universities, with corporations, with government agencies, building systemic solutions to systemic problems. Claire hired a CEO, someone with nonprofit experience, someone who could handle operations while Claire focused on advocacy and storytelling. She didn't need to do everything, just needed to do her part. Her part was speaking, witnessing, helping, being proof that survival was possible, that freedom was attainable, that women could escape and rebuild and thrive. Linda Shaw retired from interior design completely, worked full-time at the foundation, built a scholarship program in Rebecca's name for women going back to school after leaving abuse, for women rebuilding careers, for women starting over. Jennifer Price published her book, The Assistant's Dilemma, Recognizing Complicity and Choosing Courage. It became a bestseller, required reading in business schools, sparked national conversation about corporate responsibility for employee well-being. Grant Mitchell became a footnote, a cautionary tale, a reminder that charming men can be monsters, that wealth doesn't equal goodness, that pattern recognition saves lives. He sent one letter. 18 months into his sentence, Claire almost didn't open it, but curiosity won. The letter was brief, typed, impersonal. Claire, I've had time to think, to reflect, to understand what I did. I was wrong. I was cruel. I was a monster. You deserved better. Rebecca deserved better. I'm sorry for everything. I understand if you never forgive me. I don't forgive myself. Grant. Claire read it once, felt nothing. Not satisfaction, not anger, just emptiness. The words meant nothing. Too late, too hollow, too self-focused. Even his apology was about him. She threw it away, didn't respond, didn't acknowledge. He didn't deserve her energy, didn't deserve her thoughts, didn't deserve anything. She had better things to focus on, like Rebecca Hope learning to dance, like the foundation opening an office in Texas, like Maria and her daughters getting their own apartment, like Sarah graduating nursing school, like Amanda leaving with her 3 kids, like the endless stream of women finding courage and community and freedom. Claire's life was full, rich, meaningful. She dated occasionally. Nothing serious, didn't need serious, needed peace, needed safety, needed proof that not all men were Grant. And there were good men. Marcus Webb became a friend, nothing romantic, just someone who'd witnessed the truth and chosen to help. He donated generously to the foundation, introduced them to other donors, used his influence for good. Their daughter Brooks retired, came to the foundation's 2nd annual gala, gave a speech about missing the signs, about how healthcare providers need better training, about how he'd spend his retirement advocating for abuse screening in medical settings. Der Hartwell became the foundation's medical advisor, trained staff on recognizing abuse, built protocols for hospital partnerships, turned her emergency room into a safe space for women seeking help. The network grew, the community expanded, the work continued, and through it all, Rebecca Hope grew, learned, discovered the world. She was surrounded by strong women, by women who'd survived, by women who helped each other, by women who refused to let anyone fall alone. This was the inheritance Claire gave her daughter. Not money, not status, not security, but community, purpose, proof that women are strong together, that asking for help is courage, that surviving is just the first step, thriving is the goal. On Rebecca Hope's 2nd birthday, Claire threw a party, backyard full of children, adults watching, everyone safe, everyone happy, everyone free. Linda Shaw brought a cake, pink frosting, 2 candles. Rebecca blew them out with help, laughed at the smoke, asked for more. She's so much like our Rebecca, Linda said, crying happy tears. Joyful, curious, full of life. Thank you for naming her this, for honoring our daughter this way. Rebecca Shaw saved my life, Claire said. Her death showed me the pattern, showed me the truth, showed me what would happen if I stayed. She's the reason we're both alive. Naming my daughter after her was the least I could do. Thomas Shaw joined them. You've done more than name her. You've honored her memory with action, with purpose, with helping others. That's all we ever wanted, for something good to come from something terrible. The party continued, children playing, adults talking, community thriving. This was the life Claire had built, not alone, never alone, but together with women who caught each other, who believed each other, who saved each other. As the sun set, Claire held her daughter, watched the sky turn pink and orange and purple. Nature's daily reminder that endings can be beautiful, that darkness gives way to light, that every ending is also a beginning. You're named for courage and hope, Claire told Rebecca. Never forget that. You're named for a woman who didn't make it out and for the possibility that we did. You're named for the past and the future, for grief and triumph, for truth and freedom. Rebecca Hope didn't understand the words, but she would someday, when she was old enough, when she asked about her name, when she wanted to know her story, and Claire would tell her everything. The truth, the whole truth, not to scare her, but to teach her, to arm her, to show her that survival is possible, that freedom is attainable, that women who work together can move mountains. The party ended. Guests left. Claire cleaned up with help from Natalie and Brooke and Patricia, the women who'd been there from the beginning, the women who'd never left. "You did good, Claire," Natalie said. "Really good. Look what you built." Claire looked around. At her house, her daughter, her life, all of it earned through surviving, through fighting, through refusing to die quietly. "We did good," Claire corrected. "None of this happens without all of us, without everyone who helped, everyone who believed, everyone who built the net." That night, after Rebecca was asleep, Claire sat in the garden. Cool autumn evening, stars bright overhead, world at peace. She thought about the woman she used to be, the marketing director who believed love looked like attention and grand gestures, who thought security meant giving up autonomy, who made herself smaller to fit into someone else's vision. That woman was gone, not erased, transformed. She'd crawled through fire and come out forged into something stronger. Claire Mitchell was a survivor, a mother, a director, an advocate, a voice for women who couldn't yet speak, a net for women who were falling, a light for women still trapped in darkness. She'd lost everything and gained everything, and learned that sometimes losing everything is how you discover what actually matters. What mattered was this: Rebecca Hope sleeping soundly, 5,000 women free, a foundation growing, a community thriving, a future full of possibility. What mattered was proof that terrible things don't have to define you, that survival is just the beginning, that transformation is possible, that women together can change the world. Claire stood, went inside, checked on her daughter one more time. Rebecca sleeping peacefully, chest rising and falling, alive, safe, loved. "We made it," Claire whispered. "We actually made it. And now we're going to spend the rest of our lives making sure other women make it too." She climbed into bed, in her house, living her life, free. And that was enough, more than enough, everything. The crawl down the driveway had been the hardest thing she'd ever done. But it led her here, to this moment, this peace, this purpose. She'd choose it again, every time, because some paths require crawling. Some journeys require suffering. Some transformations require breaking completely before you can rebuild into something stronger. Claire Mitchell broke and rebuilt and became exactly who she was always meant to be: a survivor, a fighter, a light in the darkness, a proof that freedom is possible, that hope is real, that women who refuse to give up can change everything. She fell asleep smiling, grateful, whole, free. And somewhere in the darkness, other women were crawling toward safety, toward freedom, toward the nets that Claire and Linda and Jennifer and Teresa and Natalie and Dr. Hartwell and every survivor had built. The work would continue, forever, because abuse doesn't stop, but neither does resistance, neither does resilience, neither does the determination of women who refuse to let anyone die alone. This was Claire's legacy: not money, not fame, but action, community, proof that one woman's survival can become thousands of women's freedom. She crawled 3 miles and built a bridge for others to walk across. And that bridge would stand long after she was gone. Supporting, protecting, saving. That was enough, more than enough. Everything. If Claire's story resonated with you, if you recognize something in her journey, or if you know someone who might need to hear this, I have a small request. Hit that like button. Not for me, but for the algorithm that might show this story to someone who needs it right now. Someone sitting in their own mansion or studio apartment, wondering if they're crazy, wondering if this is normal, wondering if escape is even possible. Your like might save a life. Leave a comment. Tell me what moment hit you hardest. Share your own story if you're comfortable. This community is built on women witnessing each other, on saying, I see you, I believe you, you're not alone. Every comment creates that space. Share this video with someone you trust. Maybe your sister, your best friend, your daughter, maybe someone you were worried about. Sometimes people can't hear the truth from people close to them, but they can hear it from a stranger's story. Your share might be the permission someone needs to save themselves. And if you want more stories like this, stories about women who refused to stay broken, who crawled when they couldn't walk, who built something beautiful from something terrible, subscribe to this channel. Turn on notifications, because every week I'm bringing you real stories of survival, resistance, and transformation. Remember what Claire learned. You're not crazy. You are not overreacting. You deserve better. And there's always a way out. Always. Thank you for listening. Thank you for being here. Thank you for being part of the net that catches women when they fall. Now go forward and be someone's hope today.